Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Last here from Weekly Wrestling Heat. We are back with another episode covering this week's action in WWE, AEW, NXT, and all other wrestling promotions. What's going on, guys?
Doing
We
fine.
are
A
sorry
wonderful
that
week
we
of
still
wrestling.
can't work out a time. Want to apologize beforehand.
Yeah.
We did good. We did good.
Hopefully next week we could get into our new time zone, which we want to do on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Um,
We
so we'll
might
see
do
how.
a late night Raw Impact thing. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, 'cause we're gonna have to. We'll figure it out. But yeah.
Anyways, let's get into wrestling news.
Oh yes. First things first. WWE will be moving tapings to the Amway Center, trying to get a couple of fans in. I don't know how smart that is because WWE is having a hard time keeping spoilers in with just their talent there. So I don't know
No,
how
I
smart
think
that
I,
is.
I have my theory on that, but I'm not gonna say it anymore. I'm tired of
So
saying that.
they're actually gonna let fans in.
They
It's
want to
rumored.
at the Amway Center.
Yeah, they want to, but there's no telling exactly yet what's gonna happen. I'm just
Because even with
hoping
the
that.
whole SummerSlam, even with the whole SummerSlam situation, I was under the impression they weren't even giving out tickets for that right now.
Has
No tickets for SummerSlam. They're thinking about doing the virtual thing for SummerSlam. Which
Right,
I
right.
still think this is, how it's SummerSlam and the tagline is "You won't see it coming." I
right.
think it's gonna be on a boat.
That would be very interesting.
Because think about it this way, Monty, you a college basketball fan?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
You know how every year Duke or Michigan State plays on the Army set
Right.
to open the season? I think something like that would be badass. Have a couple of Army men out there at the crowd, and do it on
Actually,
a.
no, because you might be on to something, Moist. Because I
Well,
heard
they
there was
always
a
do. They
rumor
always do
that might.
tribute to the troops, so that we let's not forget that WWE always does tribute to the troops as well.
That's what I was getting at. There was a rumor stating they might do it on a boat. We know that hasn't been confirmed or denied. I'm just saying.
I think SummerSlam will be at a location not the Amway Center. I think they'll
Right.
surprise us with that, and then that following Monday they'll move to the Amway Center.
As long as it's
Other
not at the
than
PC, we're good.
I think so.
yeah,
I don't.
I say you I say you move NXT to the PC and just alternate between the PC and Full Sail just so it can be a little different and keep Raw and SmackDown at Amway.
Well, the what was I gonna say? Crud. I forgot. Anyways, I think Full Sail is closed, so they're not allowing anybody into Full Sail.
Oh, okay. And
Okay.
then Ethan Page will be a free agent at the end of the year. I think his contract ends in 2021. It's reported that AEW is interested. I think WWE needs to go to Ethan Page and be like, look, you've seen how they booked their big men. You've seen how we booked Cross. You've seen how we booked Keith Lee. Where would you rather be?
That's a. I mean, I don't disagree with that. I think they need to do that eventually.
Pretty much.
If you could get the North as a tag team, you just went from no tag team division to Breezango, Imperium, Indus and the North, all in NXT.
That could be
And
interesting.
Legado de Fantasma. That's a solid international group of talent right there for your tag team division, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree.
All right, and then let's kick things off with the shows. Elias, you will be going over Raw,
Yeah, give me one quick second.
which is, Elias, I know you have your theory about this stuff getting leaked. How do you feel about when dirt sheet reporters, quote unquote, tweet something and then the wrestler kind of confirms it? Like how I think it was Matt Camp was like, I heard Shayna Baszler might be on, or Shayna Baszler would be perfect for, and Shayna was like, tune in. How do you feel about that?
That kind of stuff I agree with, but when it comes down to actually like with some of the stuff that they're doing with like throwing out spoilers or throwing out like unconfirmed reports, I think it's a bad look on them because if it's I don't know where these sources are coming from, so I stopped believing a lot of the stuff that they're trying to confirm or trying to do. So it's kind of one of those things where it gets frustrating to the point where like it gets frustrating to the point where you're just like, why am I listening to these people? Like y'all know.
That's why
Y'all
we
know
recommend going to Wrestling Inc. because they don't post any of the spoilers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's
I don't listen to Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez. Like I don't listen to some of the people that like I'm pretty much stopped watching Insight News too because they're basically everybody's reporting is coming from Dave Meltzer, and I don't believe half of the time of the stuff that Dave Meltzer says. Like it's nothing against him, but I feel like he's
you need more than the proof.
Yeah, no, and I feel that he's more biased as well. So it's like one of those situations where it's like, I don't feel like he's dependable. Like I don't trust him in his stuff. So it's like, I can't really much, that's pretty much my feeling on it.
One other bit of news while you're pulling up the Raw stuff, AEW let go of Sadie Gibbs, Bea Priestley, and Jimmy Havoc. Which, if WWE let go of Bea Priestley after she just separated from her husband, who is in the upper mid card, everyone would crap on it. So I'm gonna crap on it. AEW, why are you letting go of talent when they're going through a hard time or a divorce or being separated? Because no one else is gonna say it.
No, I feel like I like I said, I also have my theory about that too, but that's neither.
Elias, you know, if Angel was still in this thing, Angel would be like, "Oh well, if Maria got released, it would come up." I'm just saying.
Oh no, I know, I believe it, and it's kind of one of those things that it sucks to see because like even when they released when they released all these people from WWE, we're like, why? But at the end of the day, we're like, it is what it is.
With Bea Priestley, the one saving grace is the two matches of hers that were on TV, both resulted in an injury.
Yeah.
Right. That's where Britt messed up her leg and Britt got concussed, or Rio got concussed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
But I mean, it is what it is. I do want. Hopefully, they land. I know Bea Priestley. I hope her and Sadie Gibbs land somewhere. As far as Jimmy Havoc, I don't know because those reports that came out on him are still up in the air. So it's like one of those. He'll probably do good in the UK as far as getting back into wrestling. But
yeah.
Anyways,
we don't touch on any of the sensitive stuff. If it happened, then yeah, Jimmy Havoc shouldn't have a job. If he's proven innocent, then hope the dude does find a gig.
So, before we begin, unfortunately, we had a passing this week as well. Kamala Harris passed away. Kamala passed away this week.
Kamala Harris is our vice president that's running.
Well, no, his name is James Kamala Harris.
What's vice president's name?
Kamala
Harris.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's funny, ain't it? Anyways, WWE kicked off Raw with a tribute to Kamala, which basically was a nice little tribute. Was the standard tribute that WWE does. We kicked off. Wait, is this? Oh yeah. We kicked off. We kicked off Raw with the contract signing between between Dominic Mysterio and Seth Rollins, which basically Dominic actually signed two contracts, which was one his WWE contract, and which congratulations out to him because he I feel like he's on to good things, and then he signed his contract for his match against Seth Rollins. Came out with a kendo stick.
One second, Monty, did you watch this segment? I know you didn't watch Raw, but I'm sure you heard about this segment.
Oh, you're talking about when he got popped with all those kendo sticks? Yeah. What about? Yeah.
So a lot of people are saying this is like his christening
initiation.
To the roster.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
So I mean, it happened after so all that led to a match between Seth Rollins and Humberto Carrillo, which Seth Rollins won. Of course, afterwards, after the match, because during the match, Dominic actually took out Buddy Murphy, which caused distraction and it caused Humberto to lose. Afterwards, Murphy attacked Dominic and they started beating him up, and that's when the kendo sticks came out and they just went to town on him. Basically, afterwards we get a.
We had a lot of people that I do want to talk about this segment. We had a lot of people that hated it or they loved it. There was no one in the middle. A lot of people were like, "Why didn't the referees come out?" They came out right away for the Ric Flair thing. Why didn't Samoa Joe plead with him? Which Samoa Joe did say, if I wasn't handcuffed to this table, meaning he probably isn't cleared. But then that report came out with MVP saying Samoa Joe will probably be cleared in a week or two.
Yeah. So we're probably gonna end up seeing a return from Seth Rollins on Samoa Joe on this one. And
how good is Samoa Joe on the mic, by the way?
Dude, Samoa Joe is a beast on the mic. He's been one of my favorite guys that has on the mic for the longest. I really enjoy his work, and especially that promo that he did against when they're about to beat up Tom Phillips. That was one of the most heated promos I've heard from Samoa Joe in a while. And then for him to cost,
it seemed like it wasn't a work. It seemed like a suit because Samoa Joe is like, lay a hand on him, I dare you, and you're like, oh shit.
And then Samoa Joe's character in general is one of those, like, when you look at him, he looks like he could beat your butt in a minute and not care about it. So, I'm ready to see
that return though.
Yeah, I'm anticipating that return. I'm waiting to see what happens with this one. I'm actually intrigued with this match between Dominic Mysterio and Seth Rollins.
One thing I will say, and I think we all agree on, is he had 2 concussions back to back. If it is safer for him to stay behind the desk, then as much as we want to see him come back, maybe just let him have one good goodbye match, and when the crowds are back, and just don't work his head, and
Well, I think Samoa Joe has not Samoa Joe, but WWE has a 3-shot rule when it comes down to concussions. After your 3rd concussion, you get taken down. So when you look at people like
Daniel Bryan and Christian.
Daniel Bryan, it took him a while to get back. Even Corey Graves. Corey Graves had multiple concussions back to back. So after a while, they seen that it was dangerous for him to get back into the ring, and the same thing with Daniel Bryan as well. So I'm interested to see with that one. Anyways, back to Raw. Afterwards, Zelina Vega comes out and basically says, "Why am I getting accused for poisoning Montez Ford?" She said that she wasn't, and she said forgotten innocent to proven guilty, and she's basically Kate basically saying that what kind of manager she would be if she would to poison an opponent for their guys in order to win the title. So afterwards, we get a match between Angelo Dawkins and Andrade.
Angelo looked good.
He really does look good. Then afterwards, Bianca Belair comes back, and we get a match between Zelina and Bianca Belair.
Angelo Dawkins beat Andrade, by the way.
Yeah. This match was actually fun. It's good to see Zelina back in the ring. I enjoy Zelina's work in the indies, so seeing her back in the ring, I want to see more of her, and I want to see more of Bianca Belair. I'm glad that they were able to put her into this storyline and actually get her some ring time and TV time as well. Which Bianca Belair beat Zelina Vega with a KOD. Afterwards, Charlie Caruso interviews Bianca, and she says that basically if she has any evidence that Vega poisoned Montez, she says she knows she did it. Basically, that's how we get to it. Afterwards, we get a segment of the VIP lounge with MVP, Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin. Basically says that there's a conspiracy, and basically how was he supposed to win the match under unsafe working condition? Talking about the interference of Retribution with the lights and everything that was going on. Basically, Apollo comes out and says that MVP is making an excuse, and basically,
Sets up Apollo versus Shelton, right?
yeah, for SummerSlam.
No, Apollo versus Shelton that night, right?
Oh,
Or
that night. Yeah, my bad. That night. And then afterwards, Apollo clears ring, throws couch over the ropes onto the floor, and then we get Apollo Crews versus Shelton Benjamin,
he picked
which
that couch up with one hand, which that's
yeah,
impressive.
dude has insane strength. Unfortunately, this one was basically um he got overpowered by multiple people. So basically, with a shot, with a where he got when Benjamin shot Apollo to the ropes, he got cheap shotted, which then Shelton Benjamin rolls him up for the win. Afterwards, Lashley comes in and grabs Apollo and puts him in the full Nelson. And then basically MVP comes telling him, to let him go because he needs him healthy for SummerSlam. Then Apollo kicks him in the head and hightails up the ramp. And then
That Apollo promo was probably the best Apollo promo we've seen in a minute.
Yeah. Then afterwards, we get an interview between Sarah Schreiber, interviewing Mickie James. Glad to see Mickie James back on TV. Then Natalya and Lana walk up and they cause into commotion saying that Mickie is basically forgotten that she's not nothing unless she has a TikTok, blah, blah, blah. Basically setting up some kind of rivalry between Natalya and Mickie and Lana eventually. Then Ivar is backstage with the girl from The Bachelor flirting, and then Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, and Eric walk up and ask him to hurry up. And the girl says it's her fault because basically she thought that Ivar was kind of cute. Eric, not so much. And then they laugh, and then they go to break. Then we come back, and we get a match between Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, Viking Raiders versus Akira Tozawa and the Ninjas, which was pretty one-sided, unfortunately. Where Viking Raider Cedric Alexander Ricochet wins. As Tozawa was walking up the ramp, he gets rolled up by a ninja for the 3 count, which turns out to be
I remember that.
R-Truth. And R-Truth is back being the 24/7 champion. Anyways, back afterwards we get an interview between Charlie Caruso and Drew McIntyre. Basically talking about his match with Randy Orton. Pretty good promo. It's pretty. I enjoyed this promo. Afterwards, we get a match between Liv Morgan and Peyton Royce, which, man, I love Peyton Royce's new finisher.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
It's nasty. But anyways, it's after a good match, Peyton Royce gets the win. Basically, Ruby trying to afterwards. There was some kind of distraction caused by Ruby. Or Billy. Billy got an apron. Ruby tried to get her down, and the referee got distracted. And then Royce basically hits the slam for the win. And Liv is basically mad because angry, confused because she thinks that Ruby the traitor. Afterwards, we get a segment between. We go to Raw Underground, which is Riddick Moss fighting somebody.
Who looks like Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah. And then Riddick Moss takes the win. Then we get Asuka versus Bayley with Sasha Banks. This match was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. Asuka is on fire right now, and I'm glad that they're putting everything into Asuka at this moment. I'm not complaining. And of course, Bayley and Sasha look really good as well. I'm glad that these 3 ladies have taken the mantle and taken Raw's women's division onto next. Everybody's doing really good in my opinion, but those 3 are standing out for me right now.
Yeah, me. Yes. That match was fantastic. I enjoyed it. Yeah, that was probably the match of the night, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. Then we go back to Raw Underground where Arturo Ruiz, man, he looked good. Basically,
throwing kicks left and right.
I'm getting more into Raw Underground. Literally, like I'm really going into getting into Raw Underground a lot. Then we get Dabakato back. I'm a big fan of Dabakato now. I really enjoy how they're making him look like a pure monster. Um, then we get Shayna Baszler on Raw Underground, and she goes in there and just starts pounding her. And then they put three. Then they put 3-on-1, and she still takes all of them down and just beats the crap out of her, and then puts the last girl on the rear naked choke for the win.
So
And
some
if
insider information here. One of the girls, I don't know which one, actually has an MMA background as well. She was 1-0 in her fights, and they told her to hold off. So I'm hoping they told her to hold off because maybe it leads to something, but we'll see.
I hope so too. I really am. Like I said, I'm really getting intrigued with Raw Underground, and it's a good thing. I hope they're able to build it more like a Fight Club type of thing, where it gets a little bit more grimier. Oh, I forgot. WWE changed their ratings to TV 14.
So that means
They're no longer PG.
Is this for all? I'm pretty sure I saw PG when I tuned into NXT.
It's after this week. They just announced that today.
Okay. I'm not looking at any wrestling news right now because I don't want anything on SmackDown to be spoiled. So I gotta watch SmackDown after this.
Hold on, I'll tell you right now. I'll pull it up, but I did see that they did they end up changing their they did end up changing from PG to TV 14. We'll confirm it, but that's what was said today about it. So, anyways, afterwards we get into the main event. Well, before that, Retribution flipped over a car and they're beating it with curb bars and they're just doing Retribution stuff. Then afterwards we get into what I think was the second best match of the night: Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens.
how did that go?
It actually got pretty. They spent a lot of time out there at the beginning. Kevin Owens had a lot of the advantage, and then Randy Orton came back, and they spent a lot of the time outside the ring, which was pretty cool. And of course, Randy Orton ended up winning with an RKO. After the matches was what actually was the best segment of the night, in my opinion. So, so they hold on. I'm just
No,
I
that
just
was the
pulled
main event.
Yeah, that was the main event. Oh, there we go. We'll talk about it once we get after. I'll report it next week once we get back into the next week's action. Anyways, after that, after Randy Orton beat Kevin Owens, Randy gets the mic. They go from commercials and they come back. Afterwards, basically, Randy talks about all the stuff that Rick did for him, all the way basically. Basic talks about how good of a good person he was to him when he was coming up in WWE.
How he
And then
bailed him out of jail, basically. He was a son that Ric Flair never had. Yeah,
which was a shot at everything. And then basically afterwards, he goes in on Ric Flair, basically said he's not the same Ric Flair that he was. He's still not the same person that he was. Basically talking about the time that he was in the hospital, blah, blah, blah. Then afterwards, Rick gets on the mic and cuts one of the best promos I've seen Rick cut in a long ass time. Basically saying that he's 71 years old. He's on Raw. Basically, he's wants Randy to be the one that breaks his record, not John Cena. That he knows what's going on. He knows that, of all the challenges he's faced, but he doesn't want the spotlight. He just wants to be Charlotte Stad and be at Randy's side when he breaks all the records. And then Orton throws the microphone, hugs him, has Flair turns to leave. Orton low blows him and basically puts it down on Matt Cress's head, and then the lights go out before Orton hit the punt on Flair. And then all the officials come out. Drew McIntyre comes out, and basically Drew McIntyre.
Well, yeah, Drew McIntyre comes out, says, "You're a son of a bitch." Even Ric Flair, the only guy that loved you, and the show cuts off. We need to talk
Yeah.
about this. We need to talk about a couple of things here.
Yeah.
One thing, when I love that you put your NXT talent in the crowd. I'm so pissed. LaGreca said this too. Bully Ray said this too. So pissed that you had him banging on the window during the punt because I wanted to hear what Randy was saying to Ric Flair when he picked him up after he kicked him. Second thing, the lights go out right before the kick. Obviously, he's not going to kick Ric Flair in the head. But does this mean that Randy is the leader of Retribution?
You said what?
So the lights went out right before he kicked him in the head, right?
Yeah.
Does this mean Randy is the leader of Retribution?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Because think about we all think Shane McMahon has something to do with it, right?
I don't know. I'm interested to see who the leader is. There's rumors saying that Tommaso Ciampa is the leader of Retribution.
I've heard stuff from Tommaso to Enzo, so it's all over the place.
Mm-hmm. So
Like,
I'm interested to see
because here's the thing: if you are phasing Vince McMahon out, Vince was the guy that was whatever on Enzo. Triple H loved Enzo. There's a story where William Regal took Triple H aside and he's like, "What do you see in this jackass?" And and I'm being verbatim, it's along those lines. Triple H was like, "Hey Regal, he's annoying you, right?" And Regal was like, "Yeah, I hate the guy." And he was like, "That's why he's money." So if they're phasing Vince out, I've heard Leo Rush too, which kind of makes sense with how Leo Rush left and everything.
I don't know. It seems Leo Rush is really anti WWE right now.
Isn't Retribution anti WWE?
That is the point.
That is the point.
I personally would love to see Randy, Rusev, Aiden English, Lana, Vanessa Bourne, and Shane McMahon. I would think that would just be crazy.
I would love to see that. I do want to see Dominic. I could see Dominic, Ciampa, Vanessa Bourne, Chelsea Green, and probably somebody else from NXT.
If it's Dominic, why did no one come to save? Why didn't the lights turn out during Dominic's beating or something? You know.
Not Dominic Mysterio, but Dijakovic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they need to figure out something to do with the names because even I know you listen to Busted Open. LaGreca, every time he says Cole, he always accidentally says Michael Cole instead of Adam Cole. So you gotta do something with these names. Like you gotta put Adam Cole on Raw or move Michael Cole over. And
what if it's Undisputed Era?
And Vanessa Bourne and Chelsea Green?
Yeah.
Nah, they got their hands full. They got their hands full with NXT right now, as far as you know.
But think about it.
You need some muscle.
But think about it. You already did everything you could because it's more than 5 people. So you could have a big faction where it's led by Undisputed Era, Dijakovic, Ciampa aligns with them for some reason.
Did you listen to Mark Henry on Busted Open last Friday?
No, I didn't.
He said one name, and he said, "I would love to see this guy back." And the name he said was Darren Young. And
interesting. What if it's Wade Barrett? What if it's Wade Barrett?
Harper?
Yeah. And Matt Sindall.
I think that I think Michael Tarver was the most badass looking in that group.
Yeah.
Otunga is not doing anything right now.
But Otunga is not it can't compete anymore.
Oh, is that what it is? He got injured? Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you do Tarver, Barrett, Darren Young, and Matt Sydal, or even Daniel Bryan as the mouthpiece.
because here's the thing, Dijakovic and Ciampa's Instagram went Twitter went blank, and they've been throwing hints out there about certain things and deleting it quickly, which is leading me to believe that those two guys are part of Retribution.
And did you see Vanessa Borne's Instagram post a couple days ago?
No, I haven't.
Let me see if I can find it, man. This is so hard to do without getting spoilers on SmackDown. Let me see if I can get around this. Okay, Vanessa Bourne. So her handle is still Vanessa Bourne WWE, but her name is her real name, Danielle Camella.
Yeah.
And then she posted a picture where it was just like, oh my god, where'd it go?
Invisible.
Okay, well, she deleted it, but no, it was a picture of her, and okay, so it's a picture of her, and it's like 2020. The party is over. Parentheses. The party is just starting.
Interesting.
Okay.
Which, yeah, that could be, a female caption, whatever. But we're all looking into it like a puzzle now.
Yeah, because like everybody's pretty much like hyping into it because of the fact that nobody knows who it is, and these superstars are.
Another name I heard was Tommaso Dijakovic, Austin Theory. So you get the Evolve thing going on, with them buying out Evolve. Austin Theory, Vanessa Bourne, and Chelsea Green.
That's a good combination.
You got the young up and comer with Theory, the big guy with Dijakovic. You got Tommaso as an outpiece, and you got the two women.
Yeah, but what happens to Dijakovic and Austin Theory and the Disciples?
As soon as Seth Rollins comes out on Monday after SummerSlam, talking about his loss for his win, you have Austin Theory walk out, give him a hug, Dijakovic standing right behind him, boots the hell out of him and Murphy, and they walk off together.
So I've heard stuff rumblings that WWE is gonna do a complete overhaul of everything that they're doing now. So I think after next week, we'll probably SummerSlam, we'll see who Retribution is. If it's not after at SummerSlam, we'll see them the night after,
or to draft at Payback.
That too, or we'll see them at the Raw after SummerSlam, because usually all debuts happen either the night after WrestleMania or the night after SummerSlam.
Yeah, first show at Amway, you got like 20, 30 crowd members. You got like maybe 1,000 crowd members in there, like 20, 30% complete. And yeah.
So I'm interested to see who these people are. Anyways, let's get into NXT. Man, we spent a little bit more time than I wanted.
NXT opening up with Karrion Kross and Danny Burch. Danny Burch getting his ass whooped, but still putting up a fight. Essentially getting choked out to the cross jacket submission hold. Then Keith Lee comes out with the contract, signs it, slides it to Kross, who's out of the ring with Scarlett. Kross signs it. Scarlett takes it, kisses it, and throws it back in. Keith Lee opened it, and a fireball just hit him in the face.
A burst of fire just come on his face.
What do y'all want to say about this?
I'm loving this.
I love the opening compared to AEW's opening, which I was crapping all over.
I'm loving the build that they're doing. The only thing that worries me, I think it's too soon to take the title off of Keith Lee, but at the same time, it's too soon to do a loss for Karrion Kross.
But so if you take the title off Keith Lee and move him up the next show, you take the title off Keith Lee. You take the title off Keith Lee. Braun beats the Fiend. Okay.
Yeah.
Braun celebrating. Keith Lee's music hits. Show over.
Yeah, I can see that. It's just like
So what are y'all saying? Y'all saying it's time for Keith Lee to go to the main roster?
It's been time for Keith Lee.
Next week is our prediction. Next week is our predictions. I think if there was an audience, Keith Lee would already called up.
Okay.
I think with this new overhaul that they're doing, they're gonna call up a lot of the NXT people.
I can see that. I got some things I want to say about NXT while we at it, but keep going.
So, anyways, after all that,
we get. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Afterwards, we get Killian Dane versus Drake Maverick. While this is happening, we get a picture-in-picture with with Keith Lee being helped to the back. Mia Yim gets in an ambulance with him. They drive off, and what I liked about this picture-in-picture is you also saw Adam Cole coming in, and you see Undisputed Era coming in, laying out Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. Adam Cole taking the mic, saying, "If you got balls and guts, you'll be here next week for a face-to-face."
Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee.
I'm actually more intrigued about this because I have a feeling that Pat McAfee has been training in a ring.
I think Monty wants to talk about this. So I'll be right back. Y'all keep talking about this before y'all go to the next match. I'll be right back.
Okay. The only thing I'm gonna say about this is I'm interested in this match because I just want somebody to shut Adam Cole up. I mean, okay. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask. I'm gonna ask you, Elias. Am I supposed to be looking at Adam Cole as a babyface right now?
No, they're still heels.
Okay, just making sure. Long as we're on the same page. Because if this is y'all way of trying to make me see him as a babyface, it is epically failing. Now, I just want to see Pat McAfee kick him again. I mean, it looked like he got kicked in the head at first, but then he only got kicked in the chest, like he took the wind out of him or something.
No,
Wait,
I mean,
Adam Cole can't be a babyface?
No.
he doesn't like Adam Cole, so that's his little thing.
Thank you. I have no interest in Adam.
What if next week when Pat McAfee comes out, Adam Cole's like, you know what? I don't need my friends to beat your ass, and they're staying in the back. I'll sign that in the contract.
No, still not gonna help. Continue.
He just doesn't like Adam Cole.
Thank you. Continue.
Man, he doesn't
I
like
still
Adam
don't.
Cole.
I still don't like
Adam
Nia
Cole.
Jax.
He doesn't like Adam Cole or Britt Baker. He just hates that couple.
He doesn't like the couple, man. That's interesting.
Then you get Santos Escobar versus Tyler Breeze. Breeze took a whooping in this match. Fandango essentially is getting beat down by Legado Fantasma, and then Swerve comes out to make the save. Next week, it's announced that we will get Breezango and Swerve versus
Legado
del Fantasma.
I'm excited for that match. I think that match is going to be.
I think it'll be good, man. I wish it was on the takeover card instead.
I'm just waiting for Isaiah Swerve Scott to do his thing.
Then we got Mia Yim versus Indy Hartwell. Before the match, Mia Yim's putting her gear, said, "I just got back from the medical center," which is good continuation because usually they would just throw her out there.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
She gets a pretty easy win over Indy Hartwell.
I think we're gonna see a match between Cross and Scarlett versus Keith Lee and Mia Yim.
I can see that.
We can't see that if Keith Lee's getting called up.
It could be his exit match.
It could be his exit match, but I was also gonna say I just wanted to point this out. I like Indy Hartwell. Yeah, I will just leave it there.
Indy Hartwell, I'm a big fan of too. Get Tegan Knox and Shotzi Blackheart off my TV and give me more Indy Hartwell.
Fair enough.
Then we got the match that Monty's been looking forward for a week between Damian Priest and Bronson Reed.
Boy, this match was hard hitting.
This match was hard hitting. Oh yeah. Now I will say this. I will say this though. That spot where Damian Priest gave Bronson Reed that suplex, I let him have that.
The Falcon Arrow?
The Falcon Arrow, yeah.
Right after he threw him into the stairs, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then he hits the Falcon Arrows. Bronson Reed kicks out. Reed misses a tsunami kick, but then rolls Priest up with the jackknife for the 3 count.
That was a good ending to that match.
And you
Yeah,
don't make
I like.
Pre-Stork weak in it, you know?
I get like I said. I like Bronson Reed. I'm gonna say it once. I'm gonna say it again. I don't know who the heck sitting over here training these big boys, but y'all need to pay them extra. Second of
That's
all,
I think
that's
Mark Henry's dealing with the big boys, right?
Mark Henry, The Undertaker, Kane, when they can, and then they're of course what's his name, Tenzai,
Albert, Matt Bloom.
Prince Albert.
Matt Bloom. Matt Bloom has a lot to do with it. Matt Bloom's a
Yeah.
big boy himself, so
Then we got Mercedes Martinez and Aaliyah versus Casey and Caden.
I got some things I want to say about this.
Before the match, Robert Stone saying, "Drop the loser," pointing to Caden, and says, "Casey, come join us." And I was hoping that Casey would do it, but she didn't. Aaliyah's getting her butt whooped. She stomped on the foot that was injured on Robert Stone. Most of this match was Aaliyah getting her butt whooped, then Mercedes coming in. Air raid crash win. Mercedes pins Casey, and then Rhea Ripley comes out. She's getting attacked by Aaliyah and Mercedes Martinez. Shotzi Blackheart comes out and kills this segment.
Actually, I like the combination between freaking
Of course you do. Of course you do.
Between Rhea Ripley and Shotzi Blackheart.
Of course you do. All right, Monty, please bring some saneness into this.
Okay, first and foremost, Caden Carter's fine. Caden Carter's fine as heck. I'm gonna leave it there. Number two, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I know I'm gonna cause some ruffles when I say the following. I absolutely positively see no reason or no point whatsoever as far as Mercedes Martinez being on NXT. Okay, bad enough she's with the Robert Stone brand. We'll get to that later.
Her weakness.
Let me.
One second.
Finish.
Her weakness is she can't talk.
Okay. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like y'all need to go ahead and move her to the main roster because she's like it's like a job that she overqualified for. That's number one. Then as far as the whole Robert Stone, can I finish? Then as far as the whole Robert Stone man situation, I see this not lasting very, very long. Especially for the Leah doing all this. Especially when you saw her try to hug her after the match. Yeah, you knew this ain't gonna last very long.
It's not meant to last long though. And
as long as we have that.
To counter it, I mean, Mercedes Martinez is the one that can challenge Io Shirai for the title. So I see her in a perfect place at a perfect time right now.
The reason I like this, Monty, is because if you just do the whole Mercedes Martinez beats up half the roster, then gets the title, it's the whole Shayna Baszler thing over. And you already saw the Shayna thing get screwed over when she got called up. With Robert Stone, you have an easy out for her losing by distraction, her losing by disqualification, and you have a mouthpiece.
But she seemed like the type that don't need to be losing, period. How about that?
I completely agree, but if they don't want to do the whole Shayna Baszler thing again.
Think about it like this. The way they built up Shayna Baszler in NXT and then to put her to the main roster, she fell flat. The way they repackaged her when she was off TV for a while was perfect. So you don't want to do the same thing with Mercedes Martinez because you don't want the crowd to not like her. So you got to build her up. She hasn't been seen on TV, hasn't been seen on anything for a while. You can't just drop her on Raw and expect her to do big things if you don't build her up first. So you build her up as a monster on NXT, have her challenge Io Shirai, get the title off Io Shirai, or get a great match between her and Io Shirai, and then let her do a whole program with Io, and then eventually by either Survivor Series or Royal Rumble, put her into the main roster or hold off to a WrestleMania. You got to give her time to get popular again because she's basically hasn't been seen on TV, and you can't really do anything
because you don't have a crowd.
Yeah, so you really can't really expect to have her do a lot when she hasn't been on TV.
Then you get the North American title qualifier. Kushida, Cameron Grimes, and Velveteen Dream is the third surprise entrant. which I called last week.
This don't look like the same Velveteen Dream.
So, guy got a little ripped. Basically, it ended a great match. I recommend going back and watching it because there's so many spots that if we touch on, it's gonna be like 20 minutes.
I wanna. Actually, I do want to touch on this more. Actually.
Yeah. One second. Let me just do the finish. So the finish was the surfboard arm breakers on Velveteen. Cameron Grimes with this dirty cave-in stomp on Kushida while he has the surfboard and pins him 1, 2, 3. Velveteen goes crazy, starts slapping Kushida afterwards, smacking him around, and then Finn Balor comes out because next week Finn Balor and Velveteen will face, and Gargano and Ridge Holland will face. The 2 winners will be inserted into the ladder match. The 2 losers will not. I think this will end with Kushida distracting Velveteen, Balor getting the win, Kushida and Velveteen also being added to the card. Monty?
Go, Monty.
All right, couple of things. Number 1, good to see Velveteen Dream back. That's number 1. Number 2, even though this man aggravates the hell out of me, I respect Cameron Grimes' hustle. I gotta give it to him.
Dude, his finisher is dirty.
His finisher is dirty, but I ain't gonna lie. I cannot sit here. I can't sit here and avoid them. I can't sit here and disrespect the piece this man has. He is gonna ruffle a lot of feathers over time. I'm just letting y'all know that.
He already has. So I mean, his whole trajectory when he was in Impact was awesome. I really enjoyed his character.
And it's the same thing with Priest. Yeah, like we saw it happen with Priest earlier. Then we saw it with Finn Balor. His thing is he's gonna piss off whoever he's facing, and now he's gonna piss them off even more because apparently this guy's a poet because he's rhyming in his promos.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're already getting annoyed.
I'm just saying. I know he's an annoying heel, but I respect his hustle. That's all.
Monty, it kind of reminds me of when they turned to Enjo in 205. You remember when Enjo just came out, started talking shit about everyone? Where Mustafa, Aladdin, TJP said the dab is more over than you. Tony Nese, you got sick, but what else you got? That's what it reminded me of. Also, Tony Nese would be another great name for Retribution.
Yeah.
Is it?
Anyways, that's NXT in a nutshell.
Do y'all agree with what I said about Velveteen losing the match to Balor because Kushida and then?
I can agree on that because Kushida, I want to see Velveteen versus Kushida.
How do you feel about Ridge Holland and Gargano next week? Which we were going to say in the wrestling news, but we held off until we got to NXT. There was a scary spot where Gargano fell on his head. They had to stop the match, and they continued. I think Ridge Holland was going to win regardless.
Yeah, I think I rather see Ridge Holland or Gargano. Gargano could be a good person for Retribution too. Come get the DIY back together as a heel tag team in Retribution.
One thing I would like to see is in this ladder match, I think Priest is going to win it. So I would love to see Ridge Holland and Finn Balor get into their own feud after this. The Velveteen Kushida thing I hope happens at TakeOver because Velveteen's entrance could just be mocking the whole Time Stoppers gimmick, and it could be hilarious, you know? Like he could come out in Saban's gear or Alex Selly's gear as a Time Stopper. It could be hilarious how they do it. I think Monty's with me on this. I'm kind of upset that they're turning Velveteen back heel, it seems.
I don't like it.
I like it.
I don't like it. For what?
I think the dude's way too over as a face, man.
Exactly. I don't understand this shit.
But he got over as a heel too, so that's the thing. Him being a heel and just being that, especially if WWE is going back to TV14 type of environment, it'll be a good thing to see Velveteen actually be able to do TV14 stuff because his character is out the world, out the edge, and have him do something like that will ruffle a lot of feathers.
Him and Dexter Lumis could be the next Booker T Goldust.
There you go. I can see that happening too.
But not like exactly the same, but like the odd couple tag team, you know?
Right.
So we can see that. Right. Anyways, that's Raw NXT in a nutshell. Let's get into AEW.
I'll take it away from here. All right, fellas. AEW Tag Team Appreciation Night, correct?
Yep.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, we kicked it. All right, we kicked this off right now with the Bucks, with the Young Bucks versus the Dark Order. I'm just gonna say this. Number one, Stu Grayson needs to just be in a singles match on his own. Shoot, I don't think he needs the Dark Order at this point.
We
He's-
basically said the same thing watching it.
I'm
Yeah,
just
Stu
saying.
Grayson. Stu Grayson is money, and I hope that he's
Yeah.
able to get that singles run that he needs.
Exactly. I don't think he don't need the Dark Order to do this, but
I
nevertheless,
thought this match was all over the place. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it was good, but it was all over the place. And
me,
it
Elias,
goes.
and Matt watched AEW together. They both were fans of the match. Thought it was all over the place though, and I was just kind of crapping on it the whole time.
I
think
think
so?
that, and this is what I dislike about AEW. I think that they're doing too much with the spots. They're basically, it goes back to what I said from the get-go. AEW is doing great at doing the spots, which is also could be in the long-term run. It could be a detriment to them. It could be something that kills them. But anyways, it was a decent match.
It was a decent match.
Can we
Nick
talk?
Rhodes,
Wait, one
Evil
second.
Uno
One
for
second.
the
One second.
pin, so.
Can we talk about two things? If Stu Grayson had a single run, I would love to see Evil Uno just as his mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Even though Stu Grayson doesn't need it, I would just love to see him with a bigger bodyguard. The second thing is, during the women's tag tournament, they brought the tag rope back. Then they got rid of it. With the Revival 2 weeks ago said that was one of the reasons they signed. It was in their contract that there would be a tag rope. What the hell is AEW doing?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a fan of the tag team, the way they're doing the tag team. I really am an old school believer with the tag ropes and the count of 10. But they're renegades,
Well,
so
count to five.
count to five. But even Cody said that they pride themselves up being renegades, doing stuff differently. So that's what it is.
Okay, so both of these.
All right, Nick.
You both watched both shows. Wasn't the end opening to NXT so much more? I'm not gonna say better, more important than the opening to AEW.
Yeah, I'll agree with that because
Yeah.
NXT's opening actually added more to the storyline between Cross and Keith Lee. As far as AEW's opener, it was just a match because they ended up losing last week to the Dark Order to just basically get retribution for losing.
And it wasn't like Brody Lee was out there, so
No. Anyways, let's get afterwards. What happened?
All right. After that match, or basically, as you know, Nick Rhodes up Evil Uno for the pin, so the Bucks won. All right. After that, we get a MJF along with his campaign staff standing in the middle of the ring at a podium.
Wait, you forgot
how
something. You forgot
Mhm.
something. They had a backstage segment where they asked Kenny Omega and Hangman Page who's the best tag team of all time.
We're not
Omega
going to
said
talk about everyone's favorite tag teams.
Yeah.
We're not
Anyways,
gonna talk about
I wasn't
that.
really. I honest to God, I wasn't thinking about that. But nevertheless, I really wasn't. So basically, MJF with Warlow and his campaign staff came out and stood in front of the podium to try to give one of his little so-called "not my champion" MJF 2020 speeches. You find him laying in the middle of the ring talking about, he does that. John Moxley doesn't care about the audience because if he did, he'd be here tonight and stuff like that. So out of nowhere, John Moxley's music comes out, and I guess he told his campaign staff, including Warlow, "Hey, go get him at the stands. Go get him at the stands." So after that, Moxley comes out through the entrance Titantron. We can call it that no more. And after that, it just lays out MJF. That was good.
I think this should have opened AEW. I think
Burberry, all that Burberry going. You think so?
I really agree. I think this should have opened AEW. I think this would have been a great opening segment for AEW.
Okay.
Especially since it has to do with their world champion. I thought that this would have been a better opener. I thought that afterwards, a good match to do that would have been the Dark Order versus the Young Bucks. I really enjoyed Moxley's promo afterwards. Basically, he said that he was going to basically say that he was going to teach MJF a painful lesson in humility at All Out. And then MJF is laying in the ring, holding his neck, almost crying.
Holding his neck. Exactly. All right. Afterwards, y'all, we get an interview with Matt backstage with Matt Hardy by Alex Marvez. I keep forgetting this man's last name. Basically, because he's not cleared to wrestle until pretty much till the next pay-per-view. I guess it was 10 days.
No, the Saturday episode because they're preempted.
Saturday episode. Thank you.
Because of the NBA
Right.
playoffs. Yeah.
Right. He says that he loves his blood. He likes his blood because it makes him more, makes him more focused. So can't wait to see what happens with that. So got that part. Then afterwards we get the team. Hold on. So my thing is, y'all think who y'all got between Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy?
I got Matt Hardy, and I think Matt Hardy's even going to want to have Sammy go over, but I think AEW is going to have Matt Hardy go over.
Okay. I can see that. Okay. All right, fellas. Next up, we get the TNT Championship. Before I get started, that's a nice title. I like it.
No.
No.
I don't. I hate the title.
You don't like? Okay, what's wrong with it? You think it should be bigger or something?
No, it just the color scheme altogether sucks.
So it should have been silver.
It should have been the back end should have been a different color. Like if it was black or if it was black,
brown, white,
or white, anything but red.
Anything but red.
It reminds me of an ugly version of the Universal title.
It reminds me of an ugly version of 20.
I'll give you that one.
I mean, and I'll say it. If people like it, they like it. I mean, I just don't like the title. I didn't like the title from the beginning when it was all silver. So even with the gold, it still looks weird. Like to me, it looks.
First of all, to me, the title looks small as hell. If it's the TNT Championship, make it bigger. Now I do agree with you saying. It need to be black. The background need to be black. I give you that one. But that title, it just makes me like it. It look like an expensive 24/7 championship in my view.
It's something about the title that I just don't like. I tried to see it like HD. I try to see it on the show, and it's just something about it just doesn't catch my interest. Unfortunately, like it's one of the titles that I do not like. So, anyways,
okay.
Continue.
Nevertheless, sorry about that. So the TNT Championship was on the line with Cody Rhodes bringing out the entire American Nightmare family versus Scorpio Sky.
Nightmare family. Nightmare not American family. Nightmare.
And the Nightmare family. Okay, fellas, I wanted this match to be better than what it was. Like seriously.
Thank you.
I didn't like the ending.
Matt wanted Scorpio Sky to win. I said there's no way Scorpio Sky's winning, but they need to make it look believable.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I didn't.
No, that's one thing. That's one thing that I do say that I did not. That I did. I really wanted Scorpio Sky to be the one to defeat Cody Rhodes because I think that Scorpio Sky deserves a good push.
He doesn't even have to win, dude. On that second Crossroads when he got pinned, put your foot on the rope, and then Cody has to hit another Crossroads, and that's how you win. So it took 3 Crossroads to beat you. Or have Scorpio Sky hit the TKO, which is his finisher, and get a close 2 count, but Arn Anderson pulls Cody out of the ring or something, something like that.
Right.
And you could tell Scorpio Sky looked frustrated after the match. Like
exactly.
He's like, I
came out here whether he was stay home for this.
You use Scorpio Sky as a pawn to build up Brody Lee's segment as a king when it should have been Scorpio Sky as a whatever the horse is, a knight. I'm using Seth's terms here, so bear with me. Scorpio Sky, if you want to do the Brody Lee stuff, it should have happened when both men left the ring.
Yeah,
I like that bet. And I'm sorry, fellas, before I go any further, my bad. Mike Chioda was the referee, so good to have him on AEW. I forgot about that part. Sorry.
Yeah.
So after
Bad pinch all around in both of the matches he officiated.
Yeah, he did a 4 count on the ending of this match.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, he did a 4 count. Also, but then like afterwards, Brody Lee comes out, appears on the screen, basically challenging Cody to the TNT Championship. So
I
yeah.
think Mike Chioda, like he's happy he has a job, but I don't know the guy personally. I've heard great things. I think his heart just isn't in it at AEW.
No,
Mm.
I think he was waiting to come back to WWE, and I think I don't think he signed officially with AEW neither. I think it was just per appearance. So that he hasn't
I can see that.
they haven't really signed him, so he just needed something to do. And I think as WWE keeps expanding, goes to the Amway Center, I think they might call him back, or if he didn't sign with AEW. So
Okay, I can see that. All right,
um,
fellas. Next up was the AEW World Tag Team Champions against Kenny Omega, Hangman Page versus Jurassic Express, pretty much Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Marco stand on the side.
I think this,
Marco got his ass whooped for not being in this match.
yeah,
Exactly.
but I liked it. I think this match was the match of the night, in my opinion.
You think so?
I liked it better than Cassidy and Jericho.
Yeah, I think this
How
match was
dare
nice.
you, Elias?
No, I was not a fan of the Cassidy Jericho match either.
Nah. I just like the fact that Orange Cassidy beat Jericho. But we'll get to that later.
Anyways,
But yeah, but
anyways,
nevertheless,
Jericho and I mean not Jericho, but Omega and Page look really strong though. That's one thing I can't say that they made him look stronger.
Absolutely. So pretty much, like I said, again the Kenny Omega, Adam Page won this match. Let's see here. Afterwards, we get an interview with Santana or Santana Ortiz. I'm sorry, not interview. Promo with Santana Ortiz backstage. Bleach and water on the best friend's luggage.
The shower head wasn't even facing the luggage. If you go back and look,
that's what I was. I'm like, y'all didn't even got the shower head. The shower head turned to this one.
I thought it was funny. But anyways, can I take this next segment over?
You got it. Go.
All right, so we get back from commercial break, and you see Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, the Young Bucks, FTR, and the Rock and Roll Express in the ring. Basically, everybody's saying, the appreciation for the tag teams. The Young Bucks say that the Rock and Roll Express are the best tag team, and then Arn Anderson comes and he says that he thinks that FTR is the best tag team, which is basically starting to build between the fight between the Young Bucks and FTR. Tully gets the mic. I haven't seen Tully's promo. He basically says that none of them are the best tag team in the world.
And they don't have the gold because Tom Brady's the best because he's got 6 rings.
Exactly.
Yeah. Then Tully turns to Arn and says he had beef with him for a year now because he doesn't understand the Nightmare ties, and basically he's still mad about him being involved in Sean Spears' match. Then he says Arn comes back and says he's a grown ass man. He doesn't need permission for anything. Sean Spears comes out and Tully and Arn walks off. Tully starts to talk again, but Ricky jabs him. Everything goes over. Dax somehow basically sold a injury. Basically, once the Young Bucks are out and everything, they hit Robert with the knee brace and spike pile driver Ricky, and that's how it ends with the Young Bucks trying to tend to Ricky while they're looking at FTR, and then Omega and Page come out, and that's how that segment ends. I didn't see apart from those tag team matches, the first one and the tag team championship, I thought this was going to be full of tag team matches instead of what happened. But anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they put a women's tag team match on there, right?
Yeah. according to Dave Meltzer, they're not selling enough to be get TV time. So
Damn. Okay.
Anyways,
That's awkward because a couple of weeks ago, last show that we had Angel on, actually, this guy who isn't an AEW mark me said word for word, I'm going on Pro Wrestling Tees and I'm looking at Penelope Ford's gear or merchandise because I'm thinking about buying one. So I don't know, maybe I'm different. But maybe it appeals to that hardcore audience,
Okay. All right. After that, we get the AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida versus Shida versus Heather Monroe. Was pretty much this was a squash match, y'all. It wasn't ain't nothing to see here.
Match. This is the only women's match they had. NXT had two. Even though the Indy Hartwell match was a squash match as well, at least Indy looked good in the match. You didn't even have Heather Monroe do anything.
Right.
Oh, this is just so frustrating because me and Elias want them to treat the women better, but they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
I don't like the fact that they're giving the WWE treatment pre-Evolution era to the women there.
Dude, you're making Sheeta can go. I don't know why you're making Sheeta look so bland.
I don't either. I really wish they would do more with the women. And
I mean, even with y'all could at least done the whole thing with Swole and Britt Baker. Y'all didn't even do that.
I mean, Impact and WWE are miles ahead when it comes down to the women's division.
There's two things you could have done. You could have done the Britt Baker thing. You could have added another segment with that. You could have had
did the Nyla Rose.
Yeah.
Nyla Rose, nothing, man. I ain't get nothing. Only thing we got out of this was the promos for next week talking about, for Saturday or next week talking about, the tag team women's division. Y'all ain't even put the promo out against what Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero gonna do. Come on, man.
Yeah. Anyways, afterwards we get a segment with Jake the Snakes with Lance Archer, and basically in mid sentence while Jake the Snake was talking, a guy walks into Archer and then he goes up and beats up everybody in the locker room, and then he tells him to say something but he won't, so Archer rips his shirt and turns him around and says everybody dies written on his back. I don't like how they're doing this team of Archer and Jake the Snake. Now it's making it look like Jake the Snake is Archer's bitch. And that's not who Jake the Snake is. And I don't like, they're just building Lance Archer to be a monster, but they don't put him in any action.
So I kind of noticed that. I ain't feeling it.
I would rather see Jake the Snake be belittled a couple more weeks, leave Archer, go join Darby and help Darby in this Brian Cage and Taz, Ricky Starks thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Jake the Snake and Darby is a way better fit. Yeah. Which you started really hot with the Jake the Snake stuff. We thought it was really cool. But
when they first got there,
the Snake's not anyone's bitch.
Yeah, I don't know what they did with. I don't know what happened afterwards. I really am disappointed in how the stuff is going with them.
At first, Snake looked like he wanted to be there. Now, it's just kind of like, why am I here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Anyways,
after that, you pretty much get the final match of the night: Orange Cassidy versus the Demigod, the Le Champion, Chris Jericho. Pretty much, if Orange Cassidy loses, he got to pay Jericho that $7,000 obligation to that blazer he got.
Mm-hmm.
What y'all think about this match, y'all?
I was disappointed. I'm happy Cassidy won, but didn't like the finish. I don't know.
I feel like this match was kind of slow, honestly.
Yeah, like something was missing here.
Yes,
I know Elias feels the same way.
Yeah, I got uninterested in it, and that's weird because I usually am interested. I like the first match better. The second match just seems like it was there.
Mm. But nevertheless, though, that's pretty much. And then literally after Orange Cassidy won, it just cut. It just went off.
I don't like how they cut it off. I would have.
Yeah,
I don't
I
like.
saw that.
I don't like the ending of it. I guess that's my thing. I didn't like the ending of it because it's just
No celebration, no nothing.
it ended on in a roll up pinfall. Like it rolled up in a sloppy ass mousetrap. Like that's how it ended.
Right. And then 5 seconds later, it just went off. No celebration, no nothing.
If anything, have Hager attack Cassidy and have Hager and Cassidy next week or something.
I mean, yeah, they did. Now they did that toward the end of the match. I mean, even though they were supposed to be barred from ringside, but okay. Yeah, but yeah, I didn't like how this. They just, do they really do that now? It just cut off after that. I mean, I know they did it with the whole. I know they did it with the whole Warlord situation. I know they did that.
The whole Mike Chioda taking the bat, not doing the right thing, like if this is gonna be your main event storyline, you don't want the referee to be a part of it. The referee shouldn't take my attention off the match.
Right.
Do you think Aubrey would have been a better ref for this match?
I think Aubrey would have been a better ref because it would have added a little bit. Because you know how she is in the ring.
Her and Jericho got that chemistry too. Yeah.
So I thought she would have been a better fit in the ring than Mike Chioda, and I love Mike Chioda. He's one of the best. He's one of the best. Freaking ring referees out there.
Right.
So
yeah. Well, yeah. Other than that, it was a good match.
Yeah, but that's AEW in a nutshell. I mean, I really enjoyed NXT. I enjoyed AEW.
Yeah, NXT.
I think NXT won this one regardless of the ratings. But like I said, if you want entertainment, AEW's for you. If you want wrestling, NXT is the one for wrestling.
But even with that one, Elias, like even what you're saying is true. AEW didn't even seem entertaining this week. Yeah, that part I will say.
It goes back to what I said a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's how they perceive it, and anything that WWE does is wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for this week's action in WWE, NXT, AEW, and I didn't watch Impact this week, so I need to catch up with it. But coming soon, we'll actually be having a midweek segment, which will probably be on Tuesday nights or Wednesday nights after AEW, where we'll be covering Raw, SmackDown, and Impact. And then we'll come back at the end of the week with the same episode for
Will we?
Not middle, probably Tuesday.
Right.
Or I'll do it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk offline more about it. Anyways, follow us on our social media handles. I am Mr. Laredo Monty _dollars, Unbiased Wrestling Fan, Moist H91. Also follow our new hookah related podcast. It's called Hookah Heat Weekly, which is on Facebook and Instagram on Hookah Heat Weekly, and look us up at on Twitter at Hookah Heat Texas. TX.
Yes, sir.
Look us there. We'll be starting new content. We'll be doing interviews with Hookah Heat Weekly is for enthusiasts, by enthusiasts. We'll be spotlighting our members, our community's members, and our vendors and our lounges. We'll do launch reviews with our guys and just spotlight them as we can. Just basically get back to the Hookah community.
Yeah, I've already got for when I'm in Vegas, I've already got a 1-hour interview put down with Lamar. We're gonna try to bring it back like that Black and Bali podcasting and Lamar used to do back in the day. Very funny content. Basically, I would make Lamar watch Bollywood movies and he would hate it. And yeah, so I'm going to be interviewing him with Hookah, asking him some Bollywood questions, maybe having Lamar break into some Bollywood music for us. We'll have fun with it. And then Elias has an interview with Saz, who's the owner of Muse Hookah Lounge, Labor Day weekend planned, which that will probably be our first interview, which I'm trying to get down to Houston for. We'll see how this COVID
I'm
stuff
down for
affects the
that.
schedule. If I can't make it, it'll be Elias and Monty interviewing Saz.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
we're
can't wait for
we're gonna get them that we're gonna get something scheduled by the end of September, probably after Labor Day, if not at the end of the month. We'll go in there on a Friday or Saturday before they open, sit down with the owner and just basically interview him, just basically ask him, let him show us all the rigs that he has, show us stuff that he uses, and show us a couple of more things that they would like to show, and just get to know the people. Get to know the owner, just put a spotlight on him. It's one of the best hookah lounges in Houston right now, in my opinion. Before Texas Hookah closed, but yeah, no. Just join us next week.
Hookah doesn't have a lounge anymore?
No, they try. We'll talk after we get off about that one. But anyways, from everybody here at Weekly Wrestling Heat, we are officially out. Peace.